All right, so we're going to take a quick look at Bitcoin from just a raw structural standpoint. Right now, the tools I have on are only three. You have the two most relevant EMAs in Bitcoin price right now. More relevant than any other EMAs, even more relevant than the weekly 21. The weekly 21 is in the middle, it's yellow. The most important EMA for all time of crypto is the weekly 10. I don't think there's any denying that. Traditional markets, I think it might be the weekly 21, but for crypto, this is if you could only use one indicator outside of, price itself, so don't count candle bars as price. If you could only use one indicator, I'm telling you, it would be the weekly 10 for me, without even a question. Anyway, so I have the weekly 10 and the monthly 10 are in play. Last time Bitcoin went up to 49K here, 48 and change, it got above, tried to use the monthly 10 as support, lower high, and then once you got that lower high and confirmed lower high, once it broke below this line, let me zoom into that spot. At this point right here, when this low was broken here, you knew that you had a statistically much higher chance that Bitcoin was going to come down to the monthly 10, and which is the white line, and break below it. Even though it did have a little fake out, it created a higher local 4-hour high. This is the 4-hour chart. But regardless, this lower low did increase the chances. Did it take it from 20% chance to 90% chance? No, you simply have to realize that if you have a lower low, there's a strong chance that the next high is going to be lower, which in this case, from a wick basis, it was lower. See that? The wick was higher here. So it technically was, depending on the time, on the 30 minute, it was a lower high. Let's look at the 30 minute. Yeah, on the 30 minute, it was a lower high. So you had a lower low come down, lower than this, which means the next time it pumps, it's statistically likely that it's going to be lower than this one. It broke below the monthly 10, which is down here, so I'll get rid of this trend line. And all of that together increased the chance that this was going to what's called fail the monthly 10. And what BPro has done, it did the same thing, came up here, but it's held support. So it's kind of interesting that you have very few altcoins out there that are performing better than Bitcoin, when usually down times or sideways times, Bitcoin is what holds things up historically, but right now it's a little different. You got things like near protocol, inching up near all time. I don't know if it's at $17 or $18 right now, but it's still it's at 17.30, so that was a good guess. You have, and Luna just took a big dump. It hit my 120K target that I talked about on March 5th, and then dumped. And smart me, I wasn't at my computer to short it at the 119.60 to 120 like I had planned to, but no, I missed that trade. But you have a few altcoins that are outperforming Bitcoin right now from an EMA standpoint, which is not common. And so if you can find altcoin, and Trios is only dipped below its weekly 10, but here's why I'm saying this. It doesn't have to be a coin that I talk about. It doesn't have to be a coin that I talk about because during bull runs, I get people who watch my channel, they only want to hold the same shit I do. And I didn't realize that until it's too late. I was thinking, oh my God, I need to stop talking about these coins, which is why I mostly talk about Bitcoin now. I don't want to be an altcoin pusher. I know there are some big names out there that either all they do is push altcoins and talk about these are the best altcoin projects, right? I don't ever want to be that type of person. And I don't want to ever be a type of person who says, you need Theta in your portfolio after Theta does a 5,000% run, and then it dumps on your face 70%. So you have a few different types of YouTubers who push altcoins. I don't want to do that. That's not where I'm going with this. Where I am going with this, though, is what could be a good strategy for you in regard to finding what would be a good altcoin to consider, especially if there's a capitulation in May or June or July, which is looking very likely at this point. what should I, you don't necessarily have to do research on what's going to be the best thing, because I've seen plenty of people do research and those best altcoins have gone below their original IPO price in price discovery down. And I had a lot of that crap going on in my community, right? And about half of those coins have done worse than anything I ever suggested. Besides my Viacoin was my bad one, right? My Viacoin was on par with what I had a couple, researchers talk about. But what I'm telling you is, using the charts for your research, if you can find things right now that are above their weekly 10 EMA and holding strong, what that means is it has a group of interested buyers, even though crypto sucks and is boring right now. So honestly, Trias and BPro are two of those coins. It's undeniable. They're facts in the charts. It's not, I'm doing research, but your research, any research you're doing, you are essentially reading marketing / propaganda of the company that is built for you to buy their coin. It doesn't matter what research you're doing. It is published by that company as marketing. If you go onto Reddit, you're only getting derivatives of what was the information released by the company to get people to buy the coin, right? So in my opinion, I think it's valuable to do research on coins. Yes, it's valuable, but adding it with what's actually strong and it has a clear set of interested buyers during a downtime, things above the weekly 10, like Near Protocol, those are the things that could be, that should be part of your research, above or below the weekly 10 during downtimes. I'm telling you, you don't have to pick BPro and Trias. I do own BPro. I do not own Trias yet. I'm waiting for capitulation personally. All right. And real quick, everybody, if you're not following me on Twitter, I do a lot of altcoin and Bitcoin updates alike. My name has the number 2 afterward, Costas Verdes 2, because my dumbass signed up under Costas Verdes once and I forgot. And then I started making under Costas Verdes 2 before I realized I did own Costas Verdes as well.
Give me that thumbs up.
Everybody quickly give me a thumbs up as we're starting the show. And then if you wanted to be able to turn on your camera microphone up to 8 times a week and ask me questions with your camera on and microphone on, check out the Discord community. One big thing that we're changing in the Discord community is I'm having different sets of I'm building towards having enough team leaders to where there's live trading going on. My end goal is 24/7. Almost like PewDiePie, right? I'm not even close to being at 24/7 live trading where anybody at a higher tier can go in and see live trading done different styles. But there is, my live traders do have their own channels within my platform. They post their schedules, and if you want to see drastically different ways to enter, to take profits, and to set up risk management, even if you don't like the style, it's good to learn other styles, because if your style of trading doesn't allow you to trade because you don't have a setup, but you have learned to a proficient degree other people's types of setups and the risk management associated with it, that could pay for itself down the road. So definitely, and that is it, within my Discord. You can see people, and they post what their trades are. They post their results within their section of their channel. So go ahead and check out the Discord as well. And let's go ahead. Oh yeah, and then the YouTube tiers, there's a join button below all my videos, and that allows you to be able to ask the questions and have priority questions, and then you get 7 to 12 updates above and beyond what I offer on YouTube. It's mostly what I post for Cryptillions, but if Bitcoin's getting ready to crash or Bitcoin's getting ready to pump, I typically give urgent alerts in that regard as well. And that's for people who don't like Discord and chat rooms and all that stuff, which would describe me back in 2017. I never considered doing it. I just want to see a post and I'm good to go. I get the information. So it's managed similar to my lowest tier. All right. Bitcoin. Here we go. I have on the origin lines, Bitcoin is essentially trying to get between these two EMAs one more time. B Pro is like this, already in the middle. I think Trias was in the middle, dipped down, and is back in. So those two coins are things, from a research standpoint, that you have facts in the charts as opposed to media, potential propaganda, but marketing tools. Any research you read is marketing, essentially, right? So these are facts in the charts for those altcoins. But Bitcoin is trying to get above this line. That's all that's happening. Before the move started, maybe it was right here or so, I did my daily update here. Yes, perfect. So this was my daily update, and I'm comfortable sharing this because the move's already happened. My first box has already been hit. And so I did not use my origin lines for this. I used my non-tilted macro range. Boom. So I think that these are the two targets for Bitcoin, somewhere either just above or below the weekly 10, which means, so imagine this is the weekly 10. I'm going to draw it like this, right? This is the weekly 10. If price comes up exactly to it and goes like this, that's called a rejection. If it goes above it, and then once it comes back down to touch it, falls through, that's called a failure, okay? Those are two forms of resistance. I'm not for sure which one it'll do, so I'm classifying it in a box because those are the two most likely ways that Bitcoin will be rejected by the weekly 10, which I'll zoom way in here. And this was posted to my Cryptillion tier on the YouTube as well. So I did this late last night at like 3 a.m. because I couldn't sleep last night. I don't know what was going on. But anyway... So yeah, the Cryptilian tier got this on YouTube as well. Again, if Discord is not your thing, all right. And so yeah, it's already hit my target at the bottom of it. However, I have a feeling that it could hit the top. I think it is also possible that Bitcoin might be more it could come up all the way to this line because of those ingredients for hopium that I talked about at the beginning, and we're getting ready to cover that. Why I think Bitcoin might want to go up to the monthly 10, the white line, which is also the master origin line, which is the most important straight line in Bitcoin history. You can't find it on anybody else's crypto YouTube channel. I designed it myself. It is the most important straight line, inarguably. And I think, and I don't think Bitcoin necessarily will get up there just to get up there, although sometimes it does, because you have two important lines crossing. The monthly 10 is crossing the master origin line, and I don't know if it's ever happened before. It's actually kind of bad. But before before something bad happens, when two lines cross in a bearish sense, price often is sucked up to it. Or when two important lines are going to cross in a bullish sign and price is above it, price has the habit of going down to it before the bullish move happens. I don't know why. It's just like magic, but two important lines crossing, whether it's a horizontal or an origin line and an EMA or whatever, it doesn't have to be two EMAs. It could be EMA with a horizontal, EMA with a with a master origin line. It could be EMA with a trend line. It doesn't matter. But it just price has the habit of getting sucked in here. And that's why I have this as the second most probable, or third most likely rejection point. Why did I say third? Well, because first and second, yeah. Either it gets rejected or fails. So first most likely, second most likely, and third most likely in this box. And that range around the monthly 10, I have the box on both sides of it because I don't know if price will come up and get rejected. Let me get rid of the... will get perfectly rejected by... See this blue line? If I zoom way out on the 8-hour chart, you can see that this is the point of control. That's the point of control. So top of range, bottom range, quarter line, 3/4 line, point of control. See that? And price, that second box is right here at the top of that blue line. All right. And I'm going to zoom back into the, let's say, 5-minute chart or something here. And so you have a bunch of areas of confluence here on Bitcoin. A lot of things aligning. Look how important. This is like the trifecta. The most important straight line in Bitcoin history, which is your master origin line, which is what makes that triangle, okay? So if I put on my master origin line, watch, it goes right on top of it. See that? It might be off by a hair, but whatever. It's the master origin line. You have the most important line in all of Bitcoin, straight line in all of Bitcoin history. You have the monthly 10, which right now is tied for the most important single indicator or single EMA in Bitcoin. It's between that and the weekly 10, even although over time weekly 10 is more important. And then you have the top of the point of control of the non-tilted macro range, which dates back 16 months. I guess I just zoomed out. It went all the way back to when Bitcoin zoomed up to 40K back in freaking January. Late January of 2021, over a year ago, right? So yeah, that's almost exactly 16 months. And I'm going to put my daily update back on. So I let my folks know, because I had a lot of people in my live trading doing some shorts on different coins. And so how my live trade leaders use my Bitcoin analysis is if they know that I'm seeing something that would influence them to, make appropriate plans. Because sometimes an altcoin will still go down and you're still in way profit on shorts if Bitcoin decides to go up, because some altcoins are doing their own thing. However, it helps influence take profits earlier, or, okay, now's a great time to move your stops down. And so that's how my live trade team specifically uses my alert to help guide their, unique followers who are mostly interested in trading the 5-minute to 30-minute charts, which is what one of my live traders do. I think the other one likes the 15-minute to 4-hour. I think those are his time frames. And so anyway, that's the update that I gave yesterday for one of several I gave for both Discord and that. And it's not like I knew it was going to happen, but here's the reason why I felt very confident in that analysis. I'm going to take everything off. Watch. The 12-hour chart is my favorite time frame in Bitcoin. I will let you know that right away. And if you don't have a paid-for version of TradingView, you can get around it. You can use the 4-hour, and you can take all these normal EMAs that I use, like 10, 21, 55, 89, 200, just multiply them by 4 and save the damn template. See my save templates up here? And if you don't know how to save a template, go to my playlist to like learning trading basics or whatever. Go to how to set up a chart. It's tagged at the end. You can skip right to it. I tag it. If you don't, and the free version allows you to save one template, right? So you can save it. And it'll always be there in one click if you really want the 12-hour chart. You just use the 4-hour chart and multiply those EMAs by 4. Or I say by 4. By 3. I need more coffee. You multiply them by 3. I am pretty damn good at math, but I think I just said multiply it by 4 like twice. Sorry. I had some type of bout of insomnia not a bad insomnia. I actually felt like I had a second wind, but I had a lot of ideas in my head and I just couldn't sleep, so I guess I'm not feeling the effects to the back end. All right, but the reason why I felt confident with that assessment is a couple things. The first thing is this. Is the range that is by far working better than any range. And a lot of people are now obviously looking at this. Most of them after I have already established mine personally. It's not like people are copying off me. Everybody can freaking see this. That's not where I'm going. People aren't copying off of it's a parallel rising channel. Yeah, everybody can see it. No one's copying off me. However, I spotted this a while ago and set this up before it became a big topic on YouTube for the most part. I'm not saying I'm the first, but I am the first to do this, which I'm about ready to show you. You won't find this anywhere else on YouTube. So what I do is I use this like a stoplight, and this is called my quarterly trading channel. This is my quarterly trading channel. This is my 16-month long tilted macro range that goes back to January of 2021. Right, so it's over a year long. Okay, different types of trading stuff with And it also has the stoplight. Red, yellow, green. Borderline, point of control, the green light zone, top of range, bottom of the range. And then my non-tilted macro range, which is the same thing, but it's not tilted, to the angle of this peak to this peak. And it seems to be working really well. What has been working best until now was the tilted macro range that goes back 16 months. But what is working even better down to the 5-minute chart, I am telling you. And, you know, I typically don't invite, YouTube Live to do this, but, you know, I'm here to help. And it's always a tricky balance to keep free content distinguished from my paid for content. I get it, but I think this is so important. You should, you don't have to pause it now, but at some point come back. So how far into this video are we? We're at 21 minutes in. Just remember the number 21. It's a good number. Like the 21 EMA. But a minute 21 of this video, pause it. Go to the 1 hour chart and make sure you can see the big drop from January 20th. That's where it starts. Okay? And then connect that to the most recent local high and not that one, because this one actually wicks above, but those are only hourly wicks. I mean, the candles weren't even closing up there. So make it from January 20th high to the recent high of late March. And then, or you could do it. This is actually easier. Connect it to the lows. Connect the lows. Draw a friggin' line like this. Draw your line. Connect those lows. And all you do on a computer, you can't do this on a phone, I don't think, is you hit Control. Hit Control first. So this hand's free, not touching my mouse, but I'm holding Control down. And then you drag it up and you find out where, a lot of things align. So here, a lot of things align. Boom, 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 boom. And that's how you do it. And then you can go back and change how they look later. So then you find another line here. So I press Control and dragged, and then you can go back and make it like a 2, make it a dotted. So I like my range areas dotted. Size 2. So see how I'm changing it size 2 up here? Right, and then I make it dotted. That's how or is it size 3? Or maybe it's just because there's 2 of them on top of each other. I'm being stupid. So this is size 2. That's size, yeah. So I like them size 2 and dotted. Anyway, you drag and drop, but you can just you might want to pause this video, take a snapshot. That's how you make those lines on your trading view. This is working better than anything. It's working better than indicators. It's not working better than the weekly 10 EMA. So using this with the weekly 10 EMA and maybe the monthly 10, it's going to be a lifesaver for you. And it will allow you to conduct your own analysis on top of mine. Because obviously I'm not always right. So if you see me have an idea about those 2 boxes, so now I'm going to zoom into current price. My daily update. Yeah, so here's my daily update. If you think that, Tim is missing something, because I already know that these are the 3 most important things to use, monthly 10, weekly 10, and this range, but I think he's missing something, so I'm going to take what he says with a grain of salt. I'm telling you, use these 3 basic tools, which you should already know how to use the MTF EMA indicator, but seriously, set this chart up, and then I'm pretty sure in that 28-minute trading view tutorial, I show you how to use the object tree so that in one click, you can make it go away. See how I'm over here on the right-hand side? It's called Channel March. I can go click this expand button, and this is all the crap. So I'll make this disappear, and it starts disappearing, right? So they're all in here, and I'm pretty sure that tutorial shows you how to do it. If not, then I'll make another tutorial. But I can just, I dragged one out. Where is that? Or no, that's the one that's the one I dragged on top, isn't it? Dirt. Okay. Bam. Well, is this also the one I dragged on top? Now I'm being stupid. Anyway, that's how you do it. But you need to have this on there. Mix it with the monthly and weekly 10, and it will allow you to add your own flavor of analysis on top of mine if that's what you're looking for. But a lot of people who come here, they only want to know what I have to say, and they're not trying to do their own. But it's roughly, and that's fine. Let's see here. Channel, March. Yeah, so I was drawing over my lines. Okay, that's why it looked weird. So I can make it appear, disappear. This is called the object tree. And if I move myself and move this over, now you can see the right-hand side. It's this you still can't see it. It's this thing down here. So this guy up here shows you all the tickers. And when you hit object tree, this is all the crap. You know, I had my blockchain backer, Fractal. So he's another YouTuber who was looking at the same Fractal I was from 2018. We both agree on, I saw it for different reasons. He sees it as a near perfect Fractal, although it wasn't so perfect here, but then it came back and it's at the exact same spot. But both that YouTuber and I both are convinced that what's happening right now is very similar to July 2018. I'm doing it with the crossbad, the EMA crosses to the downside, all that stuff. Folks, it looks identical. And the weekly 89. It's anyway. That's how you do that. All right, I'm getting off topic here. So now the ingredients that I saw. Now that I can get to there. The ingredients that I saw are this. I see the weekly 89, which I need to label purple. And no matter what time frame I go on, whether it's the 5-minute or the 1 hour, that weekly 89 EMA is going to stay there because I use the MTF indicator. I'll probably go to the 1 hour chart. Or no, I'm going to go to the 12-hour chart. The hopium and the things that I started seeing developing into not just ingredients but bread rising, like it was the flour and the yeast just as ingredients, and somebody needed that bread, and it's starting to happen. Will anybody put it in the oven? I don't know. I don't know if it's going to turn into a pump to 50K, but somebody at least needed the bread, covered it with saran wrap, and it's sitting out trying to rise. I mean, if you ever bake and that's how you make bread, whatever. That's a stupid analogy, but it's the difference between having ingredients and having the finished product baked, right? So right now you have ingredients for a move up, but no one has baked it. Even in the end, the ingredients might not all be mixed, but you have the ingredients. So I want to be very clear with what I'm saying. I'm not saying this is going to take Bitcoin to 50K. Rather, there are ingredients there, depending on how they are mixed and baked, could turn in, and as the move gets farther and farther along, now you can say, the oven's preheating. If somebody sticks that in there once it's at 350 or whatever you cook bread on, we could have some bread or 52K Bitcoin, right? But right now, it's just the ingredients are mixed. The 12-hour chart is my favorite chart. Typically, when you take off the RSI itself, and if you don't know how to use this RSI indicator, go to my TradingView tutorial. It is labeled. It's the RSI section. I show you how to do this. All right, and this is honestly, this is the best RSI tool. It's not my tool. I think a different YouTuber paid somebody to make it, and thank God he made it free, because this is, out of all the free TradingView RSIs, this is the best that I've found. It is amazing. Anyway, I tried to interpret the mountains of just the EMA itself. Okay, so this was a lower high, kind of scary, and that would increase the chances that the next move down, that this low would go lower than this one here. So actually, I kind of like using this one. So you have a low, a high, lower high, which is normal on the way down. But as it came down, it made a higher low, which is higher than this one, the EMA of the 12-hour RSI, a lower high that automatically put you on lower high watch, but it was able to keep its higher low structure and curl up, then break that high, which at that point, if I can put a right here as it broke it here, I'm going to make a line about right. And I have a VIP who teaches me how to use TradingView all the time. Bam. All right. I think something magical in price happened at that point, but you can see it before it happens. I'm telling you, watch. Lower high watch. Bots are watching this. They're not going to take off until this RSI's EMA both gets to it and crosses it. So watch, and I don't even have this prepared. And honestly, watch me look like an idiot. It might not be when it actually happens, but something is going to happen in price that is potentially moderately aggressive exactly at this point. Watch, just watch. Yes, look, big 12-hour candle, and that's when this move started heating up. Kablam! And so bots did not start, and you have to realize the vast majority of all Bitcoin volume is not from people. It technically is from people because the trading desk and bots and the algos are made by people who are smarter than you and me combined. Well, maybe not. Just because you're a coder doesn't mean you're that smart. But they're smart. Regardless, they're still smart. Especially if they're hired by companies who have $100 million trading desks and split those up, across whatever. They're smart people. Who know math, and they know statistics and probability of risk management. Is it worth trying to pump something? And look, that's the exact signal, or that signal relates to whatever signal they were looking at. So it's not that, actually you can't see it. So it's not that this is the exact thing that they were looking at before those bots decided to buy. But whatever they were looking at, the tool I just showed you, 12-hour, just the EMA of the RSI getting back above, making a local higher high, it correlates with whatever the buy bots are looking at, and kablam, next 12-hour candle, kablam, and that's tradable. A 5% move on 5x leverage, which I would not suggest anymore, under 95% of conditions. Because if you use more than 5x leverage, especially if you have not proven yourself profitable for at least 6 months, you will lose your money faster. I'm telling you. It's not a guess, it is a fact. If I can label that to 99% of people. There are exceptions to that, but it is a fact that way more than 90% of people, if you're using more than 5x leverage on crypto, not on gold. On gold, you have to use like 100x leverage, because the moves are so small. But in crypto, even Bitcoin, using 5x leverage regularly, even if you think you're doing good risk management, you're going to lose money over time because it actually puts you at a disadvantage. But anyway, that's a 25% move in a 12-hour candle. That's huge. And all you had to do was to go use this tool on RSI, realize that you had a lower high, lower than this one. It held its higher low structure, and you're licking your chops. Is it going to keep going? Is it going to keep going? Is it going to keep going? It's getting to this line. I'm going to start entering my long positions. And magically enough, as you did it, you actually had a red candle to start getting into your longs to get even better position. Instead of this being a green candle up here cutting into your profits. Perfect trade. Just using. Now, does that signal work perfectly that perfectly all the time? No. But this is one of the ingredients that I'm looking at during my analysis, is that this has gained a positive slope. Okay? Is it a lower low? Absolutely. It's a lower low. But the fact that it has a positive slope and the RSI itself, what the hell did I just do? And the RSI has gotten above it. So this whole thing is a lower low, but the RSI itself, so the green actually has low, higher low, higher low. 3 higher lows got above its EMA, and now once this green bumps its head on this white line, which is the neutral zone, and then it comes back to check. So I'm going to make this green. Maybe. And I'll make this white. If you see... I don't like that. like that. So this is the EMA that I extended. If you can see that happen, that's when you start being interested in potential long positions. You don't hit it at that time. You're missing one thing. You need the next tick to at least tick up. And when it ticks up, before it gets the second juncture, so that's the second juncture. See, one juncture, two junctures. Before it gets the second juncture, it can always turn around the other way. But I tend to take light trades. I don't, if I have $1,000 to get into a trade, for example, and this is stuff I go over Discord more, so you're kind of getting loosely Discord information here, but this isn't a true setup right now. I'm just in general terms. So I love the 12-hour chart. You would not want to enter as it actually hits this line exactly, because the next tick could fall right through. But on the next tick up, that's when you start being interested and maybe lightly enter. And if that 12-hour candle closes green and the tick stays up, that's when you want to start entering heavily in your trades, because this is the golden pocket between the white and the red, with the assumption that the RSI of whatever time frame has bumped its head or gone a little higher than the white. Actually, that's a little, let me, is there a way I can make this a little thinner? No, all right, whatever. I will use the brush. The RSI of any time frame hits its head on this white line, then meets its RSI that's above the red line, and then ticks up. Even on the 1 hour chart, that, I'm telling you, if you just wait for that signal and you use that as one of your setups along with candlestick formation, I promise you're going to be a more profitable trader. And I teach my, there are so many people on my Discord who have sent me, the very few that have my phone number and text, because they know I'm not the greatest about Discord direct messages. So I give some of them my, anyway, I just got a text. And it's actually from one of my team leaders, who's been reeling in over 1,200 a day with a very small crypto account. This and more can be done almost at will. Your strategies are perfect for this. We should talk privately, something. Wait, where was it, though? Hey, Tim, it's me. Made live video about Near. Okay, reviewed it. It's okay, I think enough. What we're doing. Racking up hundreds. Oh, yeah. So the other team, I'm not going to name names, but the two primary team leaders, he and I are racking up hundreds of percentage gains. It's freaking unreal. Thank you for everything. You are an amazing teacher. I'll try to cover up names just so you know I'm not. Well, let's see. You can't see phone numbers on there, can you? Yeah. Can I do this? I don't think I'm giving away anybody's. The number's not at the bottom, right? Okay, good. So something like that. Right. Anyway, but just weird tricks like I just showed you. I have them for stochastics. I have them for RSI. They're not necessarily primary signals, but they are things that you add on to your current system as a check and balance. My system says go for it, but if Tim has taught me 3 different tricks that automatically increase the probability of a trade working, and only one of 3 are giving me a thumbs up, therefore, even though my system says go for the trade, I need to know that from a statistically probable standpoint, it's a little less likely, because 2 of the 4, little tricks that Tim showed me, only 1 is hitting. So I need to enter that trade more lightly because the stars are not aligning to be a perfect trade. Am I making sense? And so because you go in lighter with your entry, therefore your type of entry is actually also a type of risk management. Your entries and how you interpret how good of an edge you have, that is a form of risk management. It is a form. Now, it's not a form of risk management if you don't set stops. You usually set your stops a little bit, but if you do enter lighter, that does give you, in theory, can give you more wiggle room on how far away from price you set your stops. But anyway, that's just one little trick I thought I'd show you. So that was one thing I was seeing in the charts to be able to give everybody a heads up to a move up to hit my exact target 12 hours later. The move hadn't happened when I did it. That's one thing I was seeing. The daily chart, it's the same deal, even though, so this is the white line, the RSI. So price has, the RSI has not gotten above it and used it as support. So this green above means jack shit so far. Well, it has, on a scale of 1 to 10 on how good it is, it's like a 2. So it's well, actually 2 still means bad. Let's say on a scale of -10, with 0 in the middle, to 10. So this is all bad. Even a 1 is good, right? So on this scale, this would be like a 2. It's not in the negative territory, but it's not badass, right? Because this has not come up and used it as support and ticked up and closed. All right? So if it were to tick down and close at this line, then you're looking at maybe a 3 of power, but nothing totally definite to trade on. If the next tick after that goes up but hasn't closed, then you're looking at like a 4. And this is the daily chart, kind of like what the 12-hour chart did. If that closes and the next tick starts green, now you're looking in the 6 to 7 range, because you're in the golden pocket on the daily chart between the red and the white. This is where things become really probable. This is one of a few slew of tricks that I have training videos that are locked in forever on my tutorial section on Discord. And where is man, if I open Discord, it might freaking crash my darn computer. Let's see here. Tutorial, or is it library? What am I doing? Is it library? Yeah. So in the area of the section that's available to all tiers, I have numbered where you kind of want to start. You want to start with number 1, how to set up your chart. Number 2, how to use horizontals. Number 3, let the trend be your friend. And these are not available on YouTube. Number 4, where are you within the cycle? And so number 4 is really important for new people who are in a bull market, because if they're buying shit like Theta when it's on a 3,200% run, like a bunch of YouTubers, that's when they covered Theta, because they're only talking about coins on the top gainers list, and that's when you should be selling. So this helps protect people from YouTubers who don't know any better. And again, I make plenty of mistakes. Maybe people have videos out there protecting people from me in my mistakes. I don't know, but that's what the effort of that video is, which is not as applicable in this market because it's just choppy and down. Number 5, guide to portfolio management. Number 6, how to set up origin lines. Pretty important one, right? So anyway, that's the tutorial section. But I do have other videos in there that aren't labeled number 1, 2, 3, 4. This might be like video number 12 once I ever get there. But it's still in there, but it's less formal. It's not edited and it's all that. Anyway, this is one trick. So this is another ingredient that I'm seeing. Although it's not above this, I see a low, a higher low, a higher low. 3 higher lows on this are ingredients. It's not the finished baked bread. And so these are and it wicked down to the daily or the weekly 89 EMA, which is what has been support since January 28th. So all that Bitcoin is doing here is it's going between its weekly 10. What was that? Ooh, is the weekly 10 that low? That's not good. Ooh, I didn't realize it was that low. So essentially the monthly 10, weekly 10, and the weekly 89. And once this weekly 89 breaks, guess what? Go to your 2-day chart. Use the MTF EMA indicator. put on the weekly 89, go back in time, it is a 100% hit rate that whenever Bitcoin, okay, going from an uptrend to falling down, 100% hit rate, which doesn't guarantee it's going to happen this time, but it makes it way over 50% chance, way over. 100% of the time when it hits the weekly 89, it then goes down to touch the weekly 200 EMA and ultimately the weekly 200 MA, which is even lower. It is a 100% hit rate with zero exceptions. You can't argue with it because it's factual. Like, it is facts in the charts. So, like, things could get heated up. Anyway, but because it got a bounce from here as those ingredients for potential bounce, that's how I was able to do with very, very high certainty that those targets were going to be hit. All right. Now, that was, but really nothing's changed in Bitcoin until at least I want 2 daily closures above here before above here, the weekly 10, before I get excited, because whales do this shit all the time. See this? That's why you start. Look, this is whale games. This was specifically planned. There was a group of people who coordinatedly got Bitcoin up past here, closed the candle, and immediately ran the other way. This was a planned, it was probably an end of day attack. So let's actually, it might not have been end of day, it might have been the last like 3 hours, but let's look. Let's go down to April 9th, or not April, March 9th. Let's go to the 1 hour chart. I'm just making a guess here, I didn't plan this. But it was probably end of day attack. Watch, it happened all at once. It was a fake out. It was coordinated, and it probably was not bots. This was a group of, either American people, Far East Asian people, probably not Russians. I don't think Russians are doing. I think Russians are just hoarding Bitcoin. If I had to guess, but it's either Far East Asian or Far Westerners doing this shit. Most likely. Anyway, look at this. It all happened on the third to last hour of that day. The second to last hour, 2200. The day stopped there. This is the first hour of the next day. It was driven up. This is an end of day attack to create a fake out of people saying, yay, it's over the weekly 10. Let's be bullish. And then, because of that bullishness, retail traders push it up even more and more, which what does that mean? The same people who push this up, that's when they're taking on their shorts. Because retail people, like me years ago thinking, I'm a genius, it closed over the weekly 10, I'm going long. No, they did this to get people to take on long positions because it is a 1-for-1 ratio. If they need $20 million of shorts before they then resell, so the same people who bought on spot, they're going to sell that same Bitcoin even at a loss. It doesn't matter. They're going to sell it once they have, for example, $20 million of shorts. But they can't get $20 million of shorts up here unless they create a strong enough candle to get enough of $20 million of longs. To have $20 million of shorts, you have to have $20 million of longs. And a lot of times what you'll see is, you'll see that the goal of, even though you'll never really know that this is what's happening, but it's just obvious. If they have the goal of getting $50 million of shorts before dumping it in your face, and they do this, and retail traders only get up to $30 million of shorts, what will they do? Right as it comes down, they'll make a higher high over this high and then let retail take on more and more longs above the weekly 10, higher local high. We're doing more shorts. They finally get $50 million of longs on the table. Therefore, they can stack on their $50 million of shorts. Once they hit that goal, as a group, they sell on spot trade, not on futures. They drive spot down, and it doesn't matter if they're taking 5 and 10%. Well, probably not 5 and 10%. Even with millions of dollars, 0.5% to 2% loss on Bitcoin, they are raking it in on the futures. That's what's happening. So a 1 day closure above the weekly 10 is not enough. It's not enough. 2 days above is more compelling. What's even more compelling and where you get fewer fake outs is with a weekly closure above the EMA. The last obvious fake out that happened with a strong weekly closure was back on end of July with the weekly 55. I need to change this back to the 55. So the purple's going to turn into the 55. This was really the last weekly closure fake out. And it's the only thing that I nailed perfectly. And I don't want to come across as like a dickhead saying I'm the only one on crypto YouTube who called this, because most of my calls during Wyckoff were horrible. There were plenty of people warning you about Wyckoff. I didn't. I really thought it was a bunch of load of shit or just a possibility, but they were right. But I am the only person on all of crypto YouTube who said this week is going to close below, and you can't find anybody else who said this. This week is going to close below the 55 EMA. The next 2 days will be driven down, and if you zoom into here, it was exactly Monday, Tuesday, and I said then it's going to pump. And if you don't believe me, go back to my videos from roughly, July 15th. I think it was July 15th. As this candle is flirting with that. Yeah, that's really my only really good call during all of Wyckoff. That was really hard to trade. And that was the last weekly closure fake out. So from a statistical standpoint, fake outs with closures above or below weeklies do not happen as often because their algorithms tell them that the risk management, the risk ratio reward is too high to do weekly or monthly fake outs. Therefore, you typically go to the daily, keep it on your weekly EMAs. That's when you get the daily, or where was that? Yeah, this. The daily fake outs happen all the time, and the hallmark of it is it races up in the last hour of the day, allows retail to chop it around, 2 gallon longs, and then it's going to tank. I really hope you're learning something new, because Bitcoin price, is it, wow, I took up the whole freaking hour talking. Oh my God. But hopefully you found this interesting, because you're not going to find this specific information. I don't think you're going to find this type of information anywhere else. End of day attacks, I just showed you how it's a fake out. What's going on in the mind of the people who are stacking on their shorts as they faked retail, they baited people. It's a mini bull trap. Is it a real bull trap? No. But it's a short-term time frame bull trap. And they needed to get a specific number of millions of dollars of shorts before they dumped, right? And they hit it on their first try. That's why there wasn't a higher high. When they don't hit their goal of shorts, they'll pump it once, say, oh, we're not to our $20 million goal yet. They'll make another higher high, which is a trading rule. If you break an EMA, then make a higher local high, it's long, it's bullish. Then they'll put on more shorts, and then they'll tank it. And I don't think you can find this information anywhere else. You might be able to. I don't want everybody's stuff, but it's going to be hard to find this information anywhere else. All right. I might have to run this live show. Yeah, I could talk about Bitcoin all day and all the stuff I've learned since 2019, when it's very obvious that that's when traditional markets got in. The market really has changed since 2019, which is why I say, even though it is a 100% hit rate, whenever price even touches, it like even gets close and sniffs it like this, like whenever price gets close to this line historically, it has always gone down to, let's change this to the 200. Maybe? Yes. It is 100% hit rate. It hits the next one down. 0 exceptions. And that's not even the lowest one. It typically actually wicks down to the simple moving average, which right now is at 21K. So the simple 200 EMA is down here because it moves slower. This is extremely probable to happen over time, before the deciduous trees leaves are falling if you live at certain latitudes in the United States, like Florida, Mexico. Deciduous trees don't lose their leaves; they're all waxy, whatever. But if you live I don't know what parallel is. I don't know geography that well, but and then the geography of Europe's all freaking weird. Spain is as high as Boston, Massachusetts, and Maine, and it's as warm as freaking Georgia. So I don't know European stuff very well. But anyway, before September 21st, it's extraordinarily likely that Bitcoin will be below 26K at some point. Maybe not on that day, but it will have been below there because the hit rate is 100%. But disclaimer, Bitcoin's reaction is completely tied to NASDAQ and SPX. Their trading desks are using the same algorithms. If Amazon spikes up 18% because of a good reporting of profit, Bitcoin will go up with no warning, nothing in the chart saying it's going up. It actually might look like it's going down. Bitcoin will pump 5% in a 1-minute candle, all because of Amazon, because Amazon is the Bitcoin of NASDAQ. Kind of like Bitcoin is the Bitcoin of altcoins. If Bitcoin goes up, your altcoins go up. Am I making sense? So if NASDAQ composite goes up, Bitcoin almost always goes up, with one exception, which, had I known this, I would have been on Team Wyckoff. The traditional market was going up during this. And this was a big warning sign that this is obviously a setup from a crypto cartel, like, who was coordinating an attack on Bitcoin. Stock market was going up, making higher highs here, which made this obviously a planned Wyckoff distribution. So in summary, so even if you don't want to set up those ranges like I asked you at 21 minutes in, if you want to keep it even simpler, just use 3 EMAs using the MTF EMA indicator and just keep it on the daily, the 4-hour. The 89 is your base. The 10 is starting to squeeze price below. See that red line? If this happens, price could squeeze up, but it's most likely going to squeeze down. But regardless, around early May or late April, something huge is going to happen. Price will not just move sideways. It's not going to happen with over a 1 to 3% chance. And if you want exact evidence of this, go back to November of 2018 and you can go lock in or go to my trading view of my published ideas. I published the idea that this would fall exactly to 32 or 30. I think I said 2,800, and I was only $330 off. And I said it would fall exactly on November 12th, and it's locked. You can go back and look. Before I was a YouTuber, I said it would fall on November 12th, not all in one day get down to 2,800, but I said by January 2019, it will be at 2,800. I was $300 off from the low. I was only 40 hours off from the drop. And if you want to, go back to my published ideas, and it's still there. And on Litecoin, I did even better with the timing, and I did get the exact low on my guess of $40. So, but the thing is, though, this red squeezing price below the blue is real. It is freaking real. The bots are trained to do it. If price cannot get back above the weekly 10, as it's starting to, look, this is a squeeze play. If you don't want to set up these fancy ranges because you're not trading more than once, or 2 clicks a week, and you don't really care about, trading more than twice a week, this is all you need. Red and purple, and maybe with the monthly 10 as well. You need 3 EMAs. That's all you need. All right. Okay. Let me do a few minutes of questions. I cannot believe I just talked for an hour, but that was fun. I like Bitcoin. That's why I do this. All right. And you should already know my upper targets. I'll put those on one more time just so you have update. And I will go to the 1 hour, take this off, and yeah, and I need the monthly 10. and the monthly 10 will be like this. So I'll make that white. And the weekly 10 will be like this. I'll make that red. And remember, the point of control of the non-tilted range is also here. So you have like, oh, and the master origin line is here. So this top blue thing, you have 3 mega important things. Just remember that, although I don't want to put all that on my chart because it starts getting too busy. But these are your next targets, okay? And this goes up to about 45K. So Bitcoin could wick above the non-tilted origin line, or the non-tilted ranges top point of control, to flirt with the origin. Or I'll just put on the origin line. Screw it. There you go. And that's why is this box so long? When did I do this? That's not supposed to be like that. It's gonna hit it somewhere. It'll probably hit it, yeah, right there. So it even actually could go up to like 45.5. And I have heard some people say if a daily closes above there, that's bullish. I fucking disagree, because it's just going to be getting above the monthly 10, bumping its head on the master origin line, and going back down. And no one else on YouTube uses a master origin line. Therefore, I think there is a lacking key element in analyses without the master origin line when the master origin line is play. And I don't want to say I'm right about this, but I have a statistical much stronger edge than people who don't use that tool. I'll let you know. I will say that with confidence. Does it guarantee I'm right? Absolutely. It just means I definitely have a better statistical edge having the most important straight line in all of Bitcoin history, while other people are unaware of it. All right. Questions. Whew. Man, I am so thirsty. I'm going to start looking at your questions, but I got to take a drink here. I freaking hope you enjoyed that Bitcoin, because, I mean, price isn't doing jack shit. So I just taught you some, and if you liked anything that I just showed you, I have full-on tutorials on a lot of stuff like that on the Discord. And, if you were to do a super chat like Joe just did, okay, so Joe, you just did a couple super chats, you're going to get a coupon. Shit, I mean, are those dollars or in rubles? If those are 20 rubles, you probably won't get a coupon. So those look like dollars. I'll give you I need to give you a you need to hit me up on Twitter on a DM, or if you don't, I will reach out to you on your channel in the discussions. So make sure you check discussions on your channel. I'll give you a month coupon for the crackhead tier, since you essentially just which is my middle tier. They cost like $40 a month. I might prorate it to make it like 25 days or whatever, something. I might just give you a month, whatever. But if you don't reach out to me on Twitter, if you don't do that, or if you don't use Twitter, or I forget to check it, I will reach out to you on the discussion section. Typically, tab people don't look at on their own channel, especially if you're not a content producer. But I need to get you a coupon because you did a super chat and you've essentially just paid for a month on my Discord, so you need to check it out. All right. I will. Yeah, I'll probably stay on for another 15 minutes. I'll try to. And since I'm doing this, I might not get to non-community member, non-super chat questions today. I'm sorry. And so let's get after it.